Delphi, Richard Allen, who I believe was wrongly convicted. I believe there's two other energies. One is much younger. And I am going to actually profile. One is you will definitely find on the ex's phone pictures that are not appropriate, like a collage of pictures. I did actually write some of the profiling, and there would be like low skilled workers. I also believe there's someone else involved, and I will go through certain suspects, and then I'll tell you at the end whether they are, if any, are who I believe. But Richard Allen is, in my opinion, innocent of Xing the girls. There are certain paganism beliefs that's wrapped around this that makes it very complex. And I think, you know, when it comes to, for example, having boyfriends, outer race, that kind of stuff, that wouldn't work. So there is some integral dynamic with Richard Allen, where he is a bit guilty, but not guilty of Xing the girls. There's guilt of a wrongdoing there, but not of Xing the girls, if that makes sense. You can go back and check my readings. And also, I know that a lot of people are saying Abby's the target, Libby's the target. I disagree with that. I believe, and until now, and I did the readings, before I did the readings at Abby, and during the readings, I still stuck to Abby, and I still stand that it's Abby. So maybe people will shift, or have started since the first read to shift. Now, you would have seen the last reading that I did is just very recently, and at the end, I mean, the cards don't lie, do they, in terms of what was happening. So that clip I will clip out and post separately or in the next video. What I do ask of you, if you're a subscriber, if you're a member, check the community page for the polls and let me know what you're keen on seeing more of, so that I can dedicate into that arena. I do know that the children are often the ones that pull people to watch. So I think, you know, there's a wanting for me to look at the Nova Scotia kids again, and I might pull some cards actually at the end of this and see what comes up. But I feel like what I've channeled from the start, before it got into a frenzy, really summons it up. I could pull cards on location, but, and it's same with Sebastian Rogers. And Sebastian Rogers, I said from the beginning it's going to take time because it's professional know-how, and I still don't believe he's in water like everyone is saying. And if he is found in water, I've said from day one, that will be the earlier downfall of the catching of what happened in this case. It's actually surprising how, I knew it would take a very long time, but how long. And green is definitely a sign. So, I mean, I think there would be a bridge or a wording where there's green, and that will be a sign. But I also have said that I have the vision of snow kind of melting on green grass, so that could be the beginning of spring. It could even be, instead of like it could be entering into out of autumn into kind of winter time. But rocks are like a cemented rock is definitely at least one thing near him, because it's kind of a marking of where he is. And I appreciate some of you that do ask for that, especially subscriber. You're kind of like, if you feel that connection to do so. So I feel like you kind of understand that I don't just pull the tarot in terms of every little thing that's said. Anyway, going back to the Delphi case, obviously it's very important to have justice for these two beautiful girls and what happened. And horrific, you know, someone intentionally left messaging in the way things were done. But, you know, what was done with that Snapchat, I feel was not nefarious. What is the word? Very ill-intended. And I hope you've seen that video. So now you're going to actually see some clips of the interrogation, just very, very short, and you're going to meet me on the other side.
I'm not finding anything that points in that direction. I mean, it's not me. You're not going to make me believe it's me. You're not going to find anything that ties me to those murders. So I'm not really that concerned. You know, you went from trying to, I don't know what you want to say, get my trust, and then slowly lure me into telling you I killed somebody, and I'm not going to do it. You know, I don't know where this is. Of course, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. Really not. I just want you to put yourself in a situation where we as police officers are looking at all the evidence that we have and what you've told us right now. Okay? Not trying to give you a hard time. Just want to make sure that we get everything taken care of here. That's why we wanted to look at the things that we wanted to look at. And that's not going to happen now. I mean, like I said, we're done here. So arrest me or take me home. I understand. So arrest me or take me home. I'm done. These are stupid. Okay. So that day, on that day, you went out there on the bridge, and that you were wearing the same clothing, basically the same clothing that this person here is wearing. That's what you think. I don't know how you can tell that that's a black Carhartt coat, which is what I told you, a black or blue Carhartt coat. Did you? I don't want to be included to begin with. So until the point that you have something that tells you that I did this and you want to subpoena or arrest me or something, I'm not going to work out. So I'm not real concerned here, but your attitudes towards me have definitely changed, and I don't like the fact that, you know, it feels more like I'm being interrogated, and I'm
no way possible. There is no way possible that a round from my gun ended up at a murder scene. It's not possible. So something's obviously wrong.
Something is wrong.
Exactly.
We both know what's wrong.
I didn't do it. And I'm not going to sit here all day trying to convince you that I didn't do it. No. You obviously think that I did.
I'm not going to sit here all day and convince you that I think that you did do it, Rick. I'm just laying down some of the evidence that we have.
Okay.
And we're going to get more.
I don't think so.
I'm only giving you the opportunity to get out in front of this. This is your opportunity. Like you said earlier, the truth is easy.
I've got nothing to get out in front of. I'm not going to tell you I did something I didn't do.
Okay.
Okay.
And I don't want you to tell me something that you didn't do.
Then stop asking me to.
I'm not. I'm just asking you to tell the truth about this day. I asked you to go back and rehash it, and you wouldn't. Why?
I told you, because I'm not going to. You guys are like trying to trick me into
I'm not trying to
doing
trick
something.
You. I'm not trying to trick you.
I told you what happened. You've already got it. There's no need for me to tell you again.
Story?
Whatever. There aren't any. I don't know how I can make this any clearer. I'm not going to tell you that I had something to do with this.
So there we've got some clips of the interrogation. Now, when that first was released, I don't think I watched the full interrogations. I believe there were 2. And then I watched like body language experts, and they were saying about how guilty he was because he had his arms closed, he had his hand on his lap to comfort himself, certain things. And I disagreed, and I've just put some clips in there randomly. Now, credit to Crime Circus, because when I looked up Richard Allen interrogation, court TV came up, and different ones came up, and I looked for like the shorter ones, so then I can take little clips out of them, and it just happened to be Crime Circus. So credit to Crime Circus who posted the interrogation. But this starts that journey of, coercing into false confession. I feel that he was very strong in terms of, I didn't do it. He said, I didn't do it. He was like, I don't know who did it. For me, I think those that do the body language or the statement analysis should pick up on that, or deception. I don't see his reaction as someone who's guilty. obviously to make this for entertainment, because I've got tarot in my title, I can pull tarot cards, but I believe he's wrongly guilty, and that's because I see his innocence as well. It's not only about the facts here about the body language, but through the psychic readings. I haven't channeled the girls. I don't know if something came through channeling, if a girl had said something in any of my reads, but that is not a guy who's guilty. It was like, I felt like they were trying to catch him by surprise, and he was like, it's a definite no. He was like, they tried to get him by surprise, especially about the bullet. And he comes forward and he's like, the way he responds, you might feel he's being sarcastic, but he's kind of like, well, surprise, it's not me. So you need to, don't waste your time here, that kind of thing. It's not the case of someone who's guilty that's doing that. So, and then I think he says, good luck to you. And we saw that in that first clip of the interview. And then they tried to surprise him with pics, and he's not really moved. His tone is the same. He leans in to see the pics. He's not making a distance. And he's looking at the pics. It's the same tone. It's the same tempo. Yes, his arms are folded, but he's leaned in. He's leaned over. He's not pulled back. And then when I watched a bit of when he was sat alone in that interrogation video, is like he's got his arm on the chair like this, and he's got his phone in the other hand. He's very open. He's not tense. He's not doing exercises and push-ups like Taylor business. Did anyone see that? Because that trial, I could not watch more than 5 minutes, and I felt like puking from how dark it is. And I think she gets entertainment by pretending she's a bit insane. But it was only like 3 weeks ago it popped up, Taylor business doing exercise in the room. So I clicked on it. And she sat there pumping and stuff like that. He's not doing that. He's not needing, so what I'm trying to say, he's not needing to move the energy around him. He's not stressed. And I feel even the cops that are sat there are going over and over and over, the same tone, the same tempo. And they don't seem to stop, and they don't seem to be willing to hear what he's saying. It's kind of like blah, 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 or like very robotic. So, like, when something's programmed that don't like, for example, you release let's see, it's a slot machine. You release the money when there's the 3, right? This is like, until they say a key word, until Richard Allen says a key word, they are just like blocked, same tempo, going over and over. They're not like kind of willing to accept or even stop to think, what the hell is he saying? It's just kind of like blah, blah, blah. He's not said the key word. He's not said the key word. That's not the key word. And I just want to pull cards and see if we get a confirmation on that. Got a spillage of cards. Yeah, look, they just, yeah, okay, so you're saying that, pouring it out, and no sentiment here, just no. What I'm getting with this is something I wanted to say later in this, but it seems like it's coming up now. There's no, you're talking about Xing 2 girls. It doesn't seem like they're affected by it or angered or emotive. And some of you might say, well, these cops shouldn't be. Yes, but they're very monotone. And you do see interrogation where they do get a bit A-rated, like, what the hell were you doing there? You know, and you can tell they're genuinely frustrated by this. So I was going to get to this in spirit, is just bring it out already. So they're trying to cause confusion and just like wrapping it around, causing him to get tired. In the background, they are feeding Kathy what they found. So she's getting a bit, she's losing focus because she's getting like, this can't be anyone else. It's him. It's his bullet. It's his whatever. And there we've got like the communication. He's not delivering the communication they want. The communication is in reverse and it's not delivering. So yes, I get a yes with what I've just said. So now my question is, are the Ellie who interviewed him, so Ellie is law enforcement, I didn't know that when I was first seeing it, and the local state police basically, did they actually feel he did it, or was it that they were told he did it and they were just had a job to do, is to get him to say he did it? And that's what I see. It's not only what I feel a lot. I'm quite clairsentient, and I see that it's just kind of not only my eyes that we see it in the interview, I see it now when I see like him and there. It's kind of like, we need to get this, because what we're going to then deliver once he's confessed, hand it over. And I can see them just like, if they did get it, they would just be like, there you go, to their boss, whatever their boss is, or captain, there you go, with a smile on their face. And I don't mean that they're malicious, but it's kind of like job done, tired, and like, I think they've got experience, but it's kind of come robotic to them. So I feel like they don't necessarily truly feel he's done it. They might be like, we don't really know what to do, what we're thinking, but this is what we're told. We need to that he did it, and so that's what we need to get out of him. We haven't really thought or felt into our emotions or thought about these girls that are of this has gone this way. So for me, that would be a scumbag and I'd be really irated. But let's see, the law enforcement that interviewed him, did they believe he actually did this in themselves? I don't get a confirmation. No, was it just that they were told he did it, and so their job? Told to look at this card. That's my confirmation card. It wasn't popped out, but Spirit was like, look at that card. So yes, yes. But there's a message here as well. Yeah, it's about recognizing their delivery of it. So on the ball there again. There's no rapid stress change with Richardallen. Did any of you see is it Netflix? Is it on Prime? I've not seen it, so I don't know. Has anyone seen it? Is it worth watching? They're not even asking. I'll look into the cards, what they say in terms of their questions, but I don't feel like they're asking leading questions. Sorry, they're asking leading questions to try and lead to the answer, but they're not asking questions where it's like, well, you know, this is what we what we've got, what actually happened then? They're just like, it's a very led question to, they're not asking for an explain this. It's just kind of like, question, I need that answer. If he's not answered it, same question, etc. There's no change as well. He might start getting, I think it's in the second one where he was losing it, and he was basically like, I'll say what you want for Kathy. And I'm going to get into that because it's quite heartbreaking. He's never once complained, and this is covering another thing that I want to cover on this, another video recording, so I'm not going to go into it, but a lot of it is for Kathy and just not making sure she's not stressed. And so I think a lot of what people are saying he is guilty is because he's willing to, they're not seeing that his love for his family and Kathy, and then losing his mind is actually making him question everything. So let's just ask, bear in mind, like I said, he said, I didn't do it. He didn't say, I don't know. He gave a full answer. He's not changing, and they're still not accepting. Were they willing to hear him out? Right, look at this. Look at this. It looks like, cover the purpose. It looks like I received the water, I received the answer, pour it out. It's not the right answer, right? And then we've got here, we need the answer, 9 of Cups, to have our feed, just, it's a metaphor, so to get the job done. And we're done for the day. We go home to see family, and tomorrow is a new day. So again, from the start, what I was saying, but I want to pull cards on, were they feeding Kathy in the background about this whole bullet and the weapon? And bear in mind, the actual weapon was not a pew-pew in the end, was it? They kept going on and on and on, and then in the trial, the ballistics could not confirm 100% that this could be, that this was his bullet and bullet shell. So were they feeding the wife and the daughter like, this is his bullet? And at that time, they wouldn't have known 100% ballistics that is his bullet. So were they feeding the wife and daughter before they saw him in like the background, in another room or something? Just seen the devil card. It's come out straight away. Judgment. Yes. Did they try to manipulate Kathy or the daughter when talking to them, like to get more information from them? Yes. The 2 girls that are not, you know, the young ones that are not with us anymore. Someone that was acting erratic, it was done very quick, and that's my confirmation card, right? So they were straight going in that this was a sex kind of motive. I think they might have said something about asking her about PORN, and if he ever had previous issues around younger, and I'm getting something from spirit that's reminding me that someone, were they saying that his daughter looks like Libby? So Spirit is saying they even tried something weird around that. Like, has he ever touched your daughter? And then trying to get similar stuff from the daughter. So we see Richard Allen was being very consistent. How did the police officers, as time go on, feel while they were doing this interrogation? How did they feel? One more. Okay, three more, two more popped out, so no problem. At first, you know, they were working together. They were kind of monotone, but like coming in with a balanced approach. They weren't like coming in like, you've done it, you ass. They were coming in a balanced approach. They found he was not budging on Xing the girls. So it wasn't like he denied the bridge or something. He was not budging on Xing the girls. They tried to something with the family, so the sentiment of a family and also his family. So they tried to slowly deliver messaging to his family and even to him, like about his family, like either saying something sentimental about you putting your wife and your family through this. And then we've got here, like, if you actually say what has happened, it's going to be much more of a better outcome for you. So I feel like they were doing a bit of a role play, but they're not sure what they're looking for here. I just feel like they've gone from Xing the girls to a little bit of family kind of feeling. And he just was not budging. But they feel, but there is this thing that they need to deliver this. And there's no budging to get this the upright way. I'm going to leave this here. If you enjoyed this one and you want more on Richard Allen and the Delphi, let me know in the comments, because I've got a few more that I want to cover. And I do want to cover Kathy. So obviously, if you're interested in the Brian Koberger as well, or any others, then you can comment and let me know in the comments. Basically, you can comment and let me know in the comments. So a sip of my tea while I'm here. See you in the next one.